Hello devs, it is a wonderful Friday afternoon and I thought I would show you the SSW Error Handler. If you haven't seen it yet, I've added it to the TimePro project and I just want to show you what it does. So all that you do is add this SSW Error Handler NuGet package to your project, and essentially what you get out of the box is error handling that looks like this. So if you cause an exception, it'll spit you off to a page which is a little bit too zoomed in on this resolution, but here we go. So you get a system error, you get the code. So this is a catch-all page. It gives you the exception, and it appends every inner exception message to this as well. So if you have a really deep exception, it'll make sure it shows you all the messages. A quick spiel about what they should do, and if it keeps happening, what to do as well. Now the difference here is that I've added a reference code, as many of us were discussing, so that you can look up this GUID in App Insights and find the exact exception. Now, the beauty of the SSW error handler is that if you also have, for example, an AJAX request that fails, so let's just whack in test into that, and you can see here a couple of failed AJAX requests. You don't get a giant HTML error page as you would normally with custom errors. Instead, you get error equals true, you get exception reference, and again this is just a GUID that we can go look up in App Insights, and you get the same inner exception message recursive, so all the inner exceptions that you would on the page here. Now what I'll do briefly here is copy this reference code and just jump into App Insights to show you how to look for one. You just jump down here I'm in the SSW TimePro App Insights column. If I jump into search, it's going to go and pull all of the data from SSW TimePro, which, keep in mind, this is both development, staging, and production data all in one. You perhaps might not like to do that, but this is just an example. Now I've given the property a name of exception reference, so you can use this syntax to look up the exact exception, which hopefully it's had time to load, and it has. So here we can see that the exception with my value of this GUID, you can click that exception and see all of the properties about it, including the custom data, which is the reference I've given it. You can see the call stack, and you can see here that the parameters dictionary, yada, 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 yada. If you're security conscious, you might like to hide this particular message and just reply with a generic, "I'm sorry, we can't show you the details of this error." But let App Insights, you can still see the actual call stack. And what's good about App Insights, despite all this terrible UI, is the fact that you can jump in to see the request as well. So requests affected by this exception, and we can see here's the request, and you can click into that as well. And what this is going to do is show you exactly what was sent. So you can see the URL, the response code, you can link back to the exception as well. And there's all sorts of stuff here. You can see telemetry 5 minutes beforehand, all sorts of useful information. But essentially what this should do is solve the problem whereby we can't tell what exception is linked to what request, and we can't tell customers, how to look up exceptions, or rather they can't tell us what's happened. But now they can. So they can use this reference code. It says, be sure to make a note of your exception reference so that we can identify your exact problem. And that is the SSW error handler. Now keep in mind the reference code stuff I've added this afternoon. It's not part of the NuGet package, but it is very simple to go do. If you come into the custom error filter, which gets installed into your project, it's just these 3 lines here. All I've done is track to the exception in App Insights, given it a new GUID, and I've also altered the custom handle error info model just to have an exception reference, so you can reference that in your views. But that's a brief overview of the SSW error handler. I'd love to get some feedback on that, including any security concerns or anything like that. If you'd like me to lock it down, I'm quite happy to do so. But have a great weekend, and I'll see you in the next video. Cheers.